Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Idle Angels video, and as promised, I am going to be making the Fair Showdown guide. As I already mentioned, I do have a video about the Fair Showdown, but it's 2 months old and it doesn't have all the new angels that they have decided to add to the Fair Showdown. So it took me a lot of time because I was swapping from my other accounts to test and see multiple different teams, what works, what doesn't work. So I was failing quite a lot on other accounts, but at least with my main account, I managed to snatch 5 wins. So I lost only once. I couldn't do 12 win. I was also experimenting, but I'm pretty sure that I managed to get the hang of it, what it's really important. And now I'm going to be giving you the suggestions and what I found out. But before that, make sure to use the code that is visible on the screen because it will be giving you 10 blue scrolls. So when it comes to the Fair Showdown, the main reason why we do it is because we want 9 wins in total, which will give us 5 blue scrolls. And then you can see that if you manage to do 9 wins each time that you participate, or 12, you will be receiving between 1 and 2 blue scrolls. And you have 3 attempts per day, which means 6 blue scrolls per day. And there are 7 days. So you can do the math, quite a lot of blue scrolls that we can grab. But of course, we need to make sure that we are winning every single time to 12 wins. There's an option that you can look at the angel win rate and the first lineup win rate. But the problem here is that what you see is actually only the first 6 angels that have been picked up. So you cannot see the subs. And in my opinion, in Fair Showdown, subs are the main reason you could always ensure to win the matches. So on the screen, you can see above me that I have put the positioning 1 to 12 and different options for the angels that you can put. So I will try to explain the reasoning behind and which is kind of the most important to grab. We're going to start with position 1. So for position 1, you definitely want the Nemesis or Pandora. Either of those two will be incredibly good, but Pandora is the better option to get. And then Ra I have marked as optional. Ra is very good as positioning 1, but the problem is that if the enemy that you are facing has a Nemesis or Pandora, they will be faster than the Ra and you won't be able to win. So early on, if you cannot get the your hands on a Nemesis or a Pandora, try to get a Ra, because most likely for the first 6 rounds, which is only 6 angels versus 6 angels, Ra position 1 will be enough to win those first 6 rounds, and after which you can hopefully get your hands on either Nemesis or Pandora. Another thing is that I sadly cannot show you, but once you do your lineup, then you will need to click, and then you will definitely want to go to the wonders, and then on the wonders you will want to use over here the UR plus. You will definitely want to use the strength of Vanguard on your position 1 angel, which even if it's not Nemesis or Pandora, please do use strength of Vanguard. I tested it out facing the Nemesis or Pandora on same position enemy team has a chance for you to lose unless you are faster than your enemy. So make sure that you go onto the lineup and change the strength of Vanguard for your Nemesis or Pandora or Ra, depending on which one you have chosen for positioning 1. Then position 2 and 3, it's kind of the same. You want Thor, Frost Dragon or Ares. Either of the 3 works, but on position 2 or 3, how you choose if you want to put Thor is basically if the enemy has a angel that needs to be stunned on the opposing same slots. So for instance, if the enemy carry is on position 2 or 4, I would like Thor to be on position 2. If the enemy carries are on 3 or 6, then I would move Thor to position 3 and Frost Dragon to position 2. And then I would move Ares, if you have all three of them, I would move Ares to position 4. So I will have usually like Pandora position 1. I actually can remove all of the angels and show you what I mean. So kind of my perfect team would look like Pandora will be position 1, then I would have on position 2 or 3, depending, as I mentioned, it will be Thor with Frost Dragon. Then we will have Ares on the next slot, position 4. Position 5, I would put Merlin. And then position 6, I would have Nemesis on. So this is kind of my main lineup of what I see. It's very, very good. Of course, if you don't have Ares or you don't have Merlin, it doesn't really matter. You could put Hela, you could put Hera, you could put Poseidon, and I've put even Raph and Enmo are optional, but Ares and Merlin, in my opinion, do the best team for the fair showdown. So the position 1 to 6, this one should be the strongest possible option because you have Merlin to negate enemy CC, you have Ares to be faster and to be increasing your PvP chances, Frost Dragon and Thor to crowd control everything along with Pandora, and Nemesis to overkill every single person on the entire enemy team. For the position 6, you could swap Nemesis with Aquarius or Lilith. In my opinion, all those three are good. Sadly, I don't have Lilith, so I cannot put her on position 6. But for position 6, you can do Nemesis, Lilith, or Aquarius. All three are incredibly strong. This is mainly because you want AoE on the position 6. Of course, you could use any other DPS, but keep in mind that sometimes you will be facing enemies that are very strong. So you're used to always winning with the same lineup, but sometimes you will face a stronger enemy and you will see a defeat even though your lineup is 100% win rate proof. So you might have to swap the Thor, or you might have to use Lilith because the enemy is stopping your Nemesis because she's the highest attack angel on the board. So overall, this is between 1 to 6 of the angels. Now, very important part about the position 7 to 12. If 7 to 12 angels are all useless, which means angels that don't activate anything from subs, you are more than likely to always lose the battles no matter what you put between 1 to 6. And if you have the same lineup between 1 to 6, it's very important that your subs are very strong. So in that case, we can use the MC because MC is providing buffs on the from subs. Then position 7, I do suggest that you bring Horus. Position 8, I would bring Idon, mainly because from subs Idon will give speed to the first, second and third position angels of our lineup. That way we ensure that our Pandora is always the fastest angel on the board, and that way we control the fight and not the enemy. Position 9, you could bring Uriel. That way you negate the enemy DPS, and if they have Hera, it will be hitting the Hera, which is a bit sad because Hera will be highest attack, but it doesn't really matter. Our Uriel will still most likely be very useful in most of the battles, so that's why I put Uriel. Then we have Jean. You definitely want Jean, but that I should always say that to place on position 12 because you want her to use the old stacks as many times as possible. So if for her, if she for some reason cannot protect all of the angels, other angels will go on the main lineup, and then Jean stays on the back on position 12. And now we have a few other options that you can put. One is Capricorn, because Capricorn incarnation power works from subs as well. Another really good is Azura, but in this option I would swap Azura with the MC, so I wouldn't have the MC on. I sadly cannot show it, but I will put Azura on. And Venus is another where is she? Venus is another angel that is working from subs, so you can keep that in mind. You can also put Venus on subs. Mainly, this is your goal, to use as less diamonds as possible, but your core goal is to get Pandora, Nemesis, or Ra for position 1 as early as possible, and then for when the fight becomes 12 versus 12 angels, you definitely want the Aiden, Jean, and as many subs angels as possible, alongside with the Pandora and the Nemesis, or Lilith or Aquarius. In my opinion, Nemesis is not that great for the fair showdown, because in PvP, yes, having a strong DPS, it's good and it's important, but the supports and the crowd control is what actually allows you to win the game. That's why we focus on making Pandora the fastest angel possible on board, with making her with the speed buff, putting Aiden on subs to provide her more speed. That way you definitely will be stunning the main lineup of the enemy, unless they have Merlin, but that's why you have so much crowd control on the lineup, as you can see, and I'm pretty sure that this will ensure you wins almost every single time. Of course, there are other lineups. You could use Athena, you could use other variations, but the problem with that is sometimes you will go 2 or even 3 times, 12 battles, you will win all of them, but you never actually faced a team that it's 100% win rate. It's quite RNG what you will face between fight 1 to 12. So sometimes it's kind of impossible to make the wins, mainly because the game has freaked you over and you always fight those 100% win rate lineups. So unless you have gotten the exact same setup that can beat that exact lineup, you won't really be able to win it, but that happens very, very, very rarely. So in my opinion, something like this should satisfy your needs in order to make sure to grab as many blue scrolls as possible during this event. If you have any questions or any other suggestions, please put them down in the comments. I'm always open to criticism, so please don't hesitate to do that. Also, if you enjoy the content, please do consider liking and subscribing, because this actually helps me more to grow the channel a bit more. And also I would love to see what YouTube has to offer once I'm able to reach 500 subscribers, which is actually very, very close to be achieved. Again, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them down in the comments or join the Discord channel, and I'll see you on the next video.